if I were to tell you that Bitcoin mining is a fundamentally important piece in the future of a $6 trillion market, which is the oil and gas industry? Welcome to Discover Crypto. I'm Drew, here to bring you the truth. Some of the most infamous buzzwords of the decade, greenhouse gas emissions, are officially making Bitcoin maxis the best environmentalist on the planet. That's right, Bitcoin mining has the potential to capture and repurpose up to 46% of the greenhouse gas emissions in the United States and turn that into sought-after digital gold. After the energy consumption of Bitcoin mining has caught so much shade in the last few years, those crafty miners have put their rigs to use, eating up excess methane from oil and gas production and beyond. But Team Green can't seem to make up their minds if they will embrace this newfound support. The connections between Bitcoin miners and the energy sector seems to be largely overlooked by the current market speculators. Just recently, in Utah's Uinta Basin, XCL Resources ran into a pipeline capacity limitation, producing more natural gas than they could sell to consumers. To prevent oil production shutdowns, they partnered with Crusoe Energy to test the use of methane gas to power Bitcoin mining rigs. James Keaton, a top engineer with the firm, has laid it out in simple terms. You can take a stranded asset such as a group of wells without access to a pipeline, move Bitcoin mining equipment to that location, and then you use it to monetize something that would have otherwise been considered a waste product remotely, without having to lay a gas gathering pipeline. He also said Bitcoin mining has a really nice modular ability to basically monetize waste gas no matter where it's at. Methane, the most potent greenhouse gas that strikes terror into the hearts of climate activists, is seeping into the atmosphere every day on oil drilling sites around the world. Methane is considered 25 times more potent than CO2 at trapping heat around the planet. Most of the time, this equally potent source of energy is wasted by a process called flaring. As rural oil drills hit pockets of natural gas, which is almost always trapped along with oil deep underground, most often there's no convenient pipeline to send the gas to a willing participant. Instead, the methane is sent up to a flare stack and set on fire. The big oil companies would like you to believe that this converts the dreaded methane gas into a less harmful CO2 by about 98% conversion rate, but the reality is the efficiency of flare stacks is closer to 75 to 90%, and that's if they are flaring it at all, as some sites have been caught venting gases directly into the ether. This means that pure methane is being released no matter what. Not to mention that the amount of energy potential going by the wayside is said to be enough to power the entirety of sub-Saharan Africa. That is no trivial amount of energy. Meanwhile, Bitcoin miners are scouring the globe for the cheapest sources of energy to power their electricity-hungry ASICs. Just a few years ago, it was laughable to think that Bitcoin miners could team up with the trillion-dollar oil and gas industry to help them become more green. But that is exactly what these clever miners are up to lately. It has even caught the attention of the highest authority in the United States, our presidential administration. On March 9th of 2022, Biden released an executive order of ensuring the responsible development of digital assets. In Section 7, subsection A of that order, it states, potential uses of blockchain could support monitoring or mitigating technologies to climate impacts, such as exchanging of liabilities for greenhouse gas emissions, water, and other natural environmental assets. Essentially, at the highest levels of legislative power, the uses of blockchain tech are being studied on how they can be leveraged, on how we can change our impact to the environment. Companies like Crusoe Energy Systems and Giga Energy Solutions have taken this initiative to the next level by bringing massive Bitcoin mining operations out to the most rural oil sites like Wyoming, North Dakota, and Texas. They siphon off the gases to generators and convert it into electricity to power the Bitcoin network. According to KPMG, Bitcoin appears to provide a number of benefits across an ESG framework through stabilizing energy grids, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and providing sustainable heat for commercial and residential properties. ESG, for anyone that doesn't know, stands for environmental, social, and governance, and it is a metric that defines how companies and their activities impact the world. This is great news for Bitcoin. Just imagine the potential price action for a finite digital asset that could become relied upon by one of the largest money markets on Earth to pass future ESG standards. Although proponents of slashing greenhouse gas emissions are touchy about fossil fuel industry and may slight those benefits as teaming up with big oil and gloss over the massive benefits here, Bitcoin miners just won't quit. After discovering the unused sources of energy from oil and gas, they started mining landfills too. Nodal Power is the Bitcoin mining company that is eating up methane emissions from our trash. You heard that right. I don't think even the most zealous environmentalist can argue with that. This would not be surprising to me if Bitcoin miners began to target methane produced from wastewater treatment facilities. That's right, your poo is next. According to one KPMG report, there's enough natural gas being flared off in the United States and Canada to power the entire Bitcoin network. That is a pretty impressive goal to set. Looks like the environmentalist might have the capitalist to thank for saving the world. Thank you for joining me today on Discover Crypto. I'm Drew, bringing you the truth. And if you want to follow some of my deeper dives into the future of blockchain, join me on the Blockchain Basement live every day at 2 p.m.